Everyone, it's Chris from Line Punch Forge. I decided that since we haven't done this, well, ever, I would do a polishing video for how I make my cabs and I polish rocks and all that fun stuff. So what I'm going to work with today is a rock that I found local. I cut it and was actually pretty surprised. This is a plume agate, and before I show it to you, I'd like to remind you that if you like what you see, which I hope you do, where's my finger at? There it is. There's a little button down there. Go ahead and hit that. It's red. It likes to be hit and pushed. It says subscribe. So if you guys are liking what you're seeing, please do subscribe. Like some videos, add some comments, give me some feedback, give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up, whatever. So now, plume agate, purple plume agate, which is really unusual from our area. This is local, and I'm going to go ahead and show this to you here. This is a cut piece off the rock that I'm going to be working with today. It's not completely polished yet. This is just kind of rough cut. But you see the plumes. I'm trying to focus here. Yeah. So what we are cutting are going to be some of these guys. Get them wet so we can kind of see what they are. We're going to turn some of these guys into cabochons. Another one. This is local, came from Pacific Northwest. There's some orbicular rhyolite in there, there's some agate, there's some calcite, quartz. You know, a lot of the stuff like this, it's kind of hard to narrow down exactly what it is, so we call it plume agate. This one, this whole rock, I kind of like to call Galaxy Plume, because it does look kind of like, you know, you're going warp speed through the galaxy in the purple galaxy. Super cool. So I'm going to put a couple of these on dop sticks, which are sticks that I hold the stone with while I work on the arbor wheels. Get closer, closer. While you guys are watching what I'm doing, I may move the camera around a couple times. So I want to talk now kind of about what I'm doing, because I'm going to speed it up. It's not a long process, but not everyone wants to sit through that. So these are all diamond wheels. This one is 360. This one is 600. This is 1200. And this is a 3000 grit wheel. On the end here, I have a polishing pad that has a piece of leather on it. And that piece of leather is charged with usually cerium oxide and then some sort of wetting compound. I'll use water or silicone depending on exactly what kind of polish I got and what I want to do. So that's what's going on. I'm going to get these stones dopped up. If you haven't already, check out down here. Hit that subscribe button. Check out some of our other videos. Like I said, this is not the first real lapidary or rock video, but it is the first video on polishing. So what I'm going to do is try and take some fast speed footage and then insert some commentary as we go along. So hope you enjoy, and we'll be back in a moment. Alright, we got our stone stopped. This is number one. Try and zoom in on him. See what we can get out of him. This is number two. And this is number three. So I'm going to refer to them as, wait, hold on, 1, 2, and 3. So that way, as we go along, we know which one is which and what they look like. And right now you have kind of a good precursor to what they are going to look like. This was number 2. This was number 3. And this little guy, he's number 1. So we're going to start on the 360 wheel and go from there. So hope you enjoy. Alright, here we are in voiceover mode. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking the 360 wheel and I'm roughing out kind of my corners. I want to try and make as high a dome on the top of that cabochon as I can. That's going to help me out when I set it. So as I'm roughing this out and as I go through the process, I'm watching my edges. I don't want any sharp corners. I'm rounding out everything. And I'm keeping in mind that I'm going to have to probably set this stone in a bezel. So from my experience in bezel setting, I'm trying to make a stone that is as easy to set as possible. And that means no harsh edges, no bumps, bruises, dings, that kind of stuff. So I'm roughing out each piece to about 90% of where I want it to be, and then I'll do all my cleanup on the progressive wheels. I think I'm still working on maybe number 2 at this point. Yeah, I'm working on number 2. Just rounding it out, trying to create a nice dome. I don't really want a flat top on any of these. I want a nice rounded dome. That flat top is hard to polish, and a lot of the time you don't really get a great look from a finished piece with a flat top like that, unless it's faceted or something like that. Here we are working on number 3, rounding out everything, taking off my harsh edges. At this point also I'll try and rough in the shape. If I don't pre-cut out the shape, circle, rectangle, square, triangle, and I want to go for kind of a rough preform, I'll just put a cut piece of stone on a dop and just kind of let the stone and everything else tell me what it's going to be. No plan, just go with it. I have headphones on right now, and I'm just kind of listening to the hum of the machine, and I'm in my happy place. So once I get done with this guy, I'm going to move him straight over to the 600, which I just turned the water off on the 360 and then turn the water on the 600. So once in a while you'll see me go back and forth between wheels. And what I've recognized at that point is that there's a place that I do not like, that needs to be knocked down, needs to be moved over, and I'll move over to the harsher grit wheel to take care of that, so I don't spend a lot of time on the next up grit trying to get rid of that. It's better off that you just quickly remove. See, I just did it there a second ago. Better to use the higher grit wheels to do most of your stock removal, and then use the progressive wheels for polishing. I'm on number 1 right now. I like number 1 because it has those little circles in it. Those are orbicular rhyolite, and they look really cool, especially when they're in a cab and they're cut open. If you guys don't already know, I'll use the term cab and cabochon. I'll interchange those in case someone's not familiar with the terminology. Same thing, just shortened. Here we are on the 1200 grit. These ones, if I've done my work on the 360 and the 600, I should not need to do too much on the 1200 or the 3000. We are on 3000. Checking, looking. You'll see me go back maybe a couple times on one of these. On that one, I think it was number 3, I went to the leather wheel, and I hit the top of it with just a light buff to see whether or not my polishing on the 3000 was as nice as I wanted. So here we are on the leather wheel. It's got cerium oxide on there, or cerium oxide, depending on what folks call it. I'm checking my polish, going back and forth. There I went back to the 3000 wheel to take out an area that I just saw. And I'm just kind of making sure all those areas are nice and buffed. Now, I will give you a disclaimer. After I'd finished everything, I did find some places that I need to go back and finish. And here are my finished stones. Those are orbicular rhyolite, those circles I was talking about. So if you guys like what you see, please subscribe. There's a little red button down there at the bottom. Leave me a comment, leave me a like, all that fun stuff. Share our videos, and thanks for coming. Appreciate you.